Before we get into this video, I have to show you. Look at my beautiful season 26 of Doctor Who. Sylvester McCoy was my first Doctor, and I asked for this for Christmas, and I thought my mum forgot, but she hadn't. It just didn't come in time. Look how beautiful it is. Look at this. Look at that. And then you... And then inside there's the booklet with the episodes. So cool! Oh, this makes this episode I have to make so much better. It makes it less painful. So much less painful. I'll probably get the other episodes with Sylvester McCoy in it, because this doesn't have Remembrance of the Daleks in it. And Remembrance of the Daleks was my first favourite episode of Doctor Who ever, so I have to get something like this for it. I have it on ordinary DVD, but I need to get something like this for it. So if you haven't been able to tell from the thumbnail from me introducing it like this, I'm making another video on Doctor Who. I have to. Well, I don't have to, but holy fuck. The shit show just keeps getting worse. Just for a little insight, I haven't watched this episode. I don't intend to watch another episode of Doctor Who ever again. What I have my knowledge on is from what I see on Twitter, on episode reviews, and I give my opinion via that because I gave up on Doctor Who. I just completely have given up on it because it's just not good anymore and it hasn't given me any evidence that's improved. So why am I making another video? Well, spoilers, they brought back Captain Jack. So, forgetting about the long list of characters from classic Who, from old Who, that they haven't used at all, that they could bring back and it could still be exciting for the fans, they brought back Captain Jack. And God bless John Barrowman, I'm happy for him, I really am, because bless him, he's been angling to get back on the show for years now. He's always saying things like, I wonder what would happen if River Song met Captain Jack, I wonder what would happen if Amy met Captain Jack, I wonder what would happen if Clara met Captain Jack. Congratulations, John, you got what you wanted, I'm happy for you, I genuinely am. I'm glad you got back on finally. The problem is Captain Jack hasn't been seen since 2011. Captain Jack's last appearance, I'm pretty sure, was in Miracle Day. Miracle Day kind of angled and had hinted that there was going to be more, but it did so badly that it didn't take off and there was no more Torchwood to be seen. There's a plethora of audio stories though. You can explore so many audio stories that have Captain Jack in it. Everyone was so excited about it, and even the BBC like put something up about John Barrowman retweeting something about a big surprise this weekend, which is basically a big red flag that he's probably going to be in it. So I don't know why people are acting surprised. John Barrowman pretty much dropped the ball and let everyone know by retweeting about it, and it's just not that exciting. I thought that when they said goodbye to Captain Jack when David Tennant regenerated, that was the last time we were going to see him in Doctor Who, because it was nice. That's why David Tennant was saying goodbye to all his companions. He was saying goodbye to them all because they were starting fresh with Matt Smith and nobody else was coming back. And that's just the way it was. Of course, Captain Jack continued on Torchwood for another year, but that was Torchwood. And that's living on the assumption that Captain Jack was in that bar after Children of Earth, and that's pretty much the general consensus. And the reason that the Doctor gave him Midshipman Friend's number is because Yanto had just died. Kind of weird way to get over a death of a loved one, but it's Captain Jack, it makes sense. I just feel like it's shitting on that. They seem to have a habit of shitting on everything in this show. Like, they say, have a nice goodbye to Captain Jack, they bring him back in a stupid way. They had a lovely way of dealing with Nicholas Courtney's death. Nicholas Courtney being the man who played the Brigadier in classic Doctor Who, and he never showed up in New Who. He showed up in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but he was never in New Doctor Who, but they still dealt with his death lovely. Matt Smith's doctor rang him up because he was like, let's go and have a drink, and then the nurse was just like, look, he's passed away. And that was a lovely way of dealing with Nicholas Courtney's death. Then they shit on it by doing this Cyberman bullshit where they're just like, oh my god, that's the Brigadier risen from his grave as a Cyberman. Oh my god, how to shit on a legacy. That is so fucking dumb. And they're doing it with Captain Jack. He had a lovely way of exiting Doctor Who, and they've brought him back and they've shat on him. Because that's what it is. It's just lack of ideas, for one thing. And they're bringing him back, very obviously, as a way to be like, look guys, it's that guy that you loved from the old Who. Aren't we great? Aren't we the same as, you know, what we were like? It's like, no, you're not. I'm sorry, not even John Barrowman can save this shit show. There was rumours that John Barrowman was supposed to return for A Good Man Goes to War. And the idea was that he was going to return to help the Doctor bring in his debts and save Amy from the people on the ship. And he was going to get decapitated by the Headless Monks, and that was how he was going to become the face of Boe. Now that's a rumour. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed by anyone who's worked on the show, but apparently there was scheduling conflicts and that's why John Barrowman couldn't be part of it. I wouldn't have even liked that, because I've heard the rumours that Captain Jack probably becomes the face of Boe because he was decapitated by the Headless Monks, which makes sense, but we don't need to see it. It's a nice sort of callback, but it doesn't need to be shown. We can be like, oh, that's a good idea, without having to see it. And as I say, he had a lovely send-off. We don't need to see him again. Sure, the audio dramas are a different thing because the people who watch the show don't necessarily listen to the audio dramas. And, oh, it's just terrible. It's just completely transparent what they're doing. It's, hey, look at this character you loved. We've brought him back. Here he is. Are we good yet? Very obviously manipulating the fans to make them excited because you know that the show isn't what it used to be anymore. And fucking hell, there's another Doctor, and she's a female as well. And the article that I read said that John Barrowman pretty much came back to tell the Doctor not to compromise. Basically what John Barrowman said is, Jack is there basically to tell the Doctor not to give in a way, or not to compromise. That's the big word there, compromise. Which, considering the bullshit that happens in this episode that reveals that there's another female Doctor on the way, in the future the Doctor will be a female again, it's basically saying like, oh, don't compromise. Even though people don't like the female Doctor, we're gonna keep doing it. Which is fine. You're completely free to do what you want, BBC. But the problem is, you're gonna keep killing the show. You're just digging the dagger in harder and harder. You're shitting yourself in the foot. Because yes, there is a great portion of people who watch the show and love the show, but there's an even bigger portion of the show that even the people who liked the idea of the female Doctor are looking at this shit and being like, this is getting bad, and this is getting really bad. So there was this woman in it, and we didn't know who she was, and then she turns out to be a future iteration of the Doctor. And, like, there's articles saying, like, oh, she's a female and she's black. I don't care about what colour her skin is or anything like that. Like, I'm all for there being a black Doctor. I don't care about that. Funnily enough, it's the gender that annoys me the most because, I don't know, maybe I'm a sexist, as people think. But they've done this before where they've done, like, actually, they haven't done this before because the only other time they did this was in the next Doctor and he turned out not to be the Doctor. And I think it takes away a lot of excitement showing a future Doctor because then there's no kind of excitement to know when she regenerates, what she's going to look like next. So they've basically taken that away, unless they're not considering hiring this woman as the next Doctor and she's just there for, I don't know, the excitement of it, for people to get riled up, like, oh my god, it's the Doctor, and they're not actually intending to hire her next. And if they are intending to hire her next, they've basically taken out all the excitement. They've taken out the excitement of finding out who will take the role from Jodie Whittaker just for a cheap thrill in an episode. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They're like me when I was writing fan fiction. They're just throwing in all these curveballs just for the sake of getting people to gasp and be excited, and I find it absolutely hilarious. They're just digging the knife in deeper, they're digging the hole deeper, they have no idea what they're doing anymore, and they're just pushing themselves further and further off the proverbial cliff into the pit of cancellation. And I just find it absolutely beautiful. You keep thinking it won't get worse and then it does. So, beautiful. Anyway, that's my thoughts on these two twists that happened in last night's Doctor Who episode. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, comment, subscribe. Buy my book if you want. Don't buy it if you don't want. Let me know all of your thoughts. Debate me. I like debating. If you're being a troll, I'll probably troll you back because... because what's the point in a troll if you can't troll them back? And don't fall for this bullshit. As my friend Neve says, it's so transparent it might as well be invisible. I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.